All right, everyone. Welcome to today's charting session. Monday na naman, no? So I hope na nakapagpahinga kayo ng husto over the weekend and you are now recharged and refreshed, ready to take on the market this week. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, what we do here is we typically look at either mga trending names, meaning sila po yung mga pangalan na usually mas minamatahan ng mga tao or malaki yung value traded or perhaps malaki yung ginalaw nila whether to the upside or to the downside. And also, tumatanggap din po tayo ng mga chart requests. So kapag meron po kayong mga requests, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Okay? This session is pre-recorded kasi number 1, Valentine's Day, no? So happy Valentine's Day sa inyo lahat. And number 2, birthday din kasi ng wife ko. So I wasn't gonna be looking at the market today. Kaya I decided na i-pre-record na lang siya so I can still get a charting session to you guys on time. Alright? And today we'll be starting off with Converge. Now, si Converge, ano na nga ba yung nangyari? After niya mag-consolidate dito, di ba? We broke beneath this area of consolidation and as expected, tinag nga natin yung support from before. In fact, doon tayo nag-bounce and now we are holding within this range here between 27.9 to 30.2. So what are we potentially looking for dito sa Converge? Ano yung mga pwedeng mangyari? Number 1, we could come back, tag this resistance na previous support, then roll over from there, then perhaps altogether mabasag na tong 27.9 and mabalikan na tong support at 26.3. Kung mabasag din itong support at 26.3, then we're looking at a possible gap fill here. Okay? However, sabihin natin ma-reclaim tong 30.2, then that reopens up this range from above. So that's 30.2 hanggang 33.2. And baka anong nangyayari was baka overshoot lang to pang samantala. However, it doesn't seem to be like that if only because dyan din tayo naghanap ng support before. So we might be looking at ito na yung bagong range natin moving forward, albeit nag-tighten siya on the way down, di ba? Nagparang consolidate siya tighter and tighter, parang nag-descending triangle pababa. Now, kung tong 33.2 mabasag din natin, then we might come back to the top end of that range sa 36.4. And if mabasag din yan, we'll rediscuss Converge again. But for now, it's a little bit more bearish but still trapped within this wider range here for now. Alright? Next, tignan po natin yung SECB. Now, SECB, nagkaroon tayo ng push to the downside on Friday, no? We closed beneath this previous level of resistance. So, may resistance dito. Nauntog din to. Then, we gapped up. Price came back, filled the gap, broke lower. So, what can we expect? So one thing to potentially look out for is baka mag-push pa tayo higher, perhaps tagging tong 114 ulit, even all the way hanggang dito sa 116. Tapos pag nag-hold yan, we might roll over and balikan natin yung support natin dito around 104. Okay, so that's one possible scenario. The other scenario we could be looking at is if it can push from here and mabasag tong 120 altogether, then this opens up yung range dito sa taas hanggang 127. And if kaya nating basagin tong 127, we might come back and revisit tong mga naiwan na highs from before. But for now, okay, same as with yung kanina, we are stuck within a larger range. So hanggang may magbago doon, baka range-bound trades lang ang makukuha natin dito sa SECB. Now, if you are a range trader, then baka may mga setups kayo na mahanap that you can use to trade this. Okay? Pero for now, ako personally, I would exercise a bit more patience just to wait and see how this develops. Okay? If pumangit yung index, baka tuluyan din itong pumangit eh. So, let's see. It could always come back dito sa area of previous consolidation, bounce from there, form some type of inverse head and shoulders pattern. But again, hindi pa po natin alam kung ano yung mangyayari. All we can do right now is to be patient and wait for structure to develop para mas meron tayong pwedeng basahin moving forward. Next, tignan po natin yung dito, no? So, dito. So dito, again, a lot of people are excited. We pushed higher, but as always, paalala lang, we are still stuck within this range here. We tried to break out of it here, pero nag-wick down tayo and we're still holding beneath. Even if we broke out of tong 6.24, meron pati, ito kasi buong area to resistance hanggang 6.6. However, if mabasag natin tong 6.6, okay, at least from a technical standpoint, then baka may potential reversal na nabubuo kasi we're opening up this wider range above. I haven't put the levels in yet, pero nakikita nyo na may white zone ako dito na potential na paguntugan ng price kung mabasag man tong 6.6 na area. Okay, however, I do need to remind you guys na yes, price is pushing higher, but yung nangyari pa rin na the whole SRO cancellation thing, it's still not the best. So you might want to be careful na hindi lang to temporary push to the upside. Tapos, baka ipilit nyo yung trade, magkaroon ng trap, tapos, yun nga, maka-experience tayo ng drawdown. So that's just something to be aware of and keep in the back of your mind if you want to trade dito. That being said, of course, kung meron kayong setup dito, gusto nyo i-take, then by all means, no, okay, papapigil sa akin or kanino man. Siyempre, sarili nyong approach yan eh. Just be sure na meron kayong clear area of stop loss where you think you'd be wrong in the trade and don't just focus on the upside. Okay? Don't just focus on the upside. If from here, nag-roll over tayo, bumalik tayo dito sa bottom end ng range, I think that's a clear confirmation na yun nga, range bound yung dito for the interim. However, kung mabasag natin altogether itong 4.8, as mentioned before, baka balikan natin tong area of support below. That's from 3.52 hanggang 3.92, no? So, let's just see what happens next dito sa dito. Alright, so next let's talk about MEG. So, yung MEG, if you watch our weekly market overview, I was saying nga na sa property sector na index, things are still moving sideways, no? A bit more bullish compared to before, but sideways nonetheless. So kung titignan natin dito, ganon din. We are range bound dito sa MEG. We've been trying to break higher pero so far ayaw pa, no? Hindi pa siya ready. Now, if we zoom in, ano mapapansin natin? We can see na etong area na to, which acted as previous resistance, was broken. Then price came back down and retook that level. So one thing to watch out for is if we come back, tag it again, mag-hold, roll over, break that low, then baka ang mangyari is balikan natin yung lows natin dito at 2.99 or 2.91. Okay? Baka bumalik tayo dyan. Kapag nangyari man yon, then that just shows na talagang range bound lang muna to for the interim at least. On the upside naman, if we can break tong 3.43 na area, okay, that opens up this wider range above from 3.43 to 3.76. Now, this leads me to an interesting topic that I often hear sa mga online forums, social media, and what have you, no? A lot of people have this notion na kailangan mabili ko lagi ng mababa para kumita ako ng malaki. Okay? That is true, but it is not, kumbaga, it's not 100% complete. What do I mean? Let's say, in this case, sa MEG, bumili ka at 3 pesos, okay? Tapos ang stop mo was at 2 pesos, and then ang target mo was at 5 pesos. For example, that means yung risk-reward mo is 2:1. Diba? 1 peso yung sinusugal mo between these two, and then 2 pesos yung sinusugal mo between 3 and 5. Correct? So 2:1. Now, the way that you actually calculate your positions is dependent kung saan yung stop mo. Diba? So, let's say na you are willing to risk 2% of your portfolio in a trade. That means for the price to go from 3 pesos to 2 pesos, where you will be having your stop, meaning doon ka na mali. You've pre-calculated it. Na kunyari, 100,000 yung portfolio mo, you're risking 2%, that means 2,000 pesos yung mawawala sa'yo each time na matalo ka sa trade. So whether that's from 3 pesos to 2 pesos, okay, 2,000 pesos lang yung willing mong mawala per trade. Okay? Now, let's say, balik ta rin natin. Let's say na naghintay ka kunwari na mag-breakout tayo from 3.43. Okay? So, 3.4 na lang para mabilis, no? 3.4. Let's say you were targeting ito, itong high, 3.7. And let's say, kunwari lang okay, I'm not saying na ito yung tama. Let's say na your stop was 3.3. That means, etong dalawa, 10 cents yung difference, etong dalawa, 30. So, your risk is 3:1. Di ba? 3:1. So, kapag 2,000 din yung sinusugal mo sa trade na to, that means you will make 6,000 pesos back kung tumama siya sa target mo. Now, ito from 3 to 5 ang laki, di ba? Ito 3.4 to 3.7 ang liit. Pero ang nag-handle kasi noon, yung nagma-matter is yung size ng position mo. Granted, again, these are all hypothetical numbers. I am not saying you should buy at 3 and then put your stop at 2. Neither am I saying that you should buy at 3.4 and put your stop at 3.3, ha? Hypothetical numbers. I am just saying na having the lowest average is not the only way to make money sa market. So, just because it looks cheap don't force the trade. Okay? Sometimes waiting for confirmation, sometimes buying a little bit higher, okay? Pero mas clear yung structure will yield better risk reward. Not always, but sometimes. So pick and choose your battles carefully. Kasi at the end of the day, hindi naman pataasan ng percentage ang usapan sa trading 'Di ba? Ang habol natin is palakihin yung portfolio natin as quickly as we can. The best way we know how. So that doesn't only depend on percentages, that depends on position, that depends on your strike rate, that depends on the risk reward that you aim for. Okay? So next pag-usapan natin yung nickel. So nickel, we have broken above this area of resistance here. Okay, so yung 6.4 to 6.5 na area, and we are now on our way to tag this level of resistance above from 6.94 hanggang 7.12. Now, pwede bang mag-pullback muna to dito? Pwede, no? Before we push higher. So that's one thing to look out for. If you're looking to add to your trades, if we can pull back, mag-hold dyan, mag-develop ng structure, then push higher, perhaps that's a way that you can add to your trades or enter a position kung wala pa kayong hawak. Okay? The other thing that could happen is baka mag-range muna tayo in between. Baka di pa siya ready. And of course, everyone's favorite na mabasag na lang to diretso to the upside. Mabasag yung 7.12. We can aim for itong 7.83 na level from before or to fill the gap here around 7.37. Ang ayaw nating makita from here is your price to break down. Actually, kahit bumalik dito, medyo pwede pa itong area na to. But for price to break down and actually break beneath tong white zone, sobrang bearish na niya tignan for me. Right now, mabasag niya itong area na to, hindi na nga ganun aganda But I can still get it. Kumbaga, naiintindihan ko pa yung structure. But for price to break, kumbaga, kainin niya tong upper move na to that fast or that much, then medyo delikado tayo. And that's something that we need to watch out for. But for now, nickel is still looking bullish. Okay? We are not gonna focus on, may divergence ba or something? Again, mga divergence is only a way to alert you that there might be a change in direction, there might be a change in movement, but it's not a signal for you to say na hindi, dapat out na ako dito or dapat mag-buy na ako, dapat mag-sell na ako. Alright? So those are the scenarios that we are looking for dito sa nickel, that we are preparing ourselves for. Okay? So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin. I hope kahit papaano may natutunan po kayo and may naitulong po ito sa inyo kahit konti, no? And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!